How's my hair look? Welcome to another episode of the Bo Divas.
No slip this time.
We're
Good
here
job.
with Julie Griggs and Annalisa Green.
Hey.
Hello, Barbara Frazier.
Hello. Yeah, and we kind of are going to do a phone a friend tonight. So
This is my favorite.
it's my favorite to do a phone a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Some of our friends won't answer our calls, though, or respond. So
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is.
We're going through the list of potential friends. Maybe we don't have as many friends as we thought.
Maybe
phone
not.
and unfriend.
Please talk
You
to
notice
us.
how Bailey doesn't ever really make eye contact with us anymore or anything like that?
She ducks out.
She's like, oh my God, it's them.
It's like, it's those people. I'll see you from afar. And hi. Gotta go.
So we're gonna look through our list of friends, the
Wish we
ones
had
that want to talk to us.
Yeah.
Well,
do it.
yeah, they just don't know they don't know us well enough to decline us yet.
Yeah.
So we'll give it a whirl here.
Mm.
Hopefully, it's ringing.
Oh, it's ringing. I hope they answer.
Who is it? So excited.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Is this Jennifer?
Hello?
Is this Jennifer
Yes.
Brooks?
Who?
Is this Jennifer Brooks?
It's Jennifer Brooks, yes.
Hi, Jennifer
Hi.
Brooks. It's the Bo Divas.
Hello, Jennifer.
Hey, girls.
How are you?
How are you? Oh, I'm great. How are you guys doing?
We're
Good.
good.
Good. Well, we need to ask you real quick. Can you hear us okay? Because we can hear you great.
There's a little echo with you guys, but
See if
we can make it work, probably.
See if this sounds any better. Does that sound better?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All
We'll
right.
do that then.
And you can, yeah, well, if you have trouble hearing us, just let us know.
Okay.
So Julie would introduce Jennifer, since I don't know if everybody knows you, but a few people know you.
Are you still there?
Be nice, Julie.
Be
nice.
nice. Okay. I'll try. I met Jennifer last summer during the ASAs in Women's Known 45. And Jennifer started in the ASAs shooting Women's Hunter and shot her way out of Hunter. Now, did you go to Known 40 or did you just jump right into 45?
No, I actually went straight to 45 after Women's Center.
Okay. And for some reason, this beautiful, classy lady put up with my silly self, and we have formed a friendship from all of this. And so she's been kind enough to answer her phone, apparently, and do a quick phone a friend with us.
Yeah.
Jennifer's from Arkansas, and I'll just let you fill in all the gaps, Jennifer. Why don't you just tell us about yourself?
Oh, well, I am from Arkansas. I am a mom and a stepmom. We call it a bonus mom at our house. So,
Aw.
yeah, I don't sound as evil that way, I think. Married to Nathan Brooks. You guys probably know him.
Some people might know
I'm
him.
I'm a dental hygienist and got into this crazy game of archery, and now it's my addiction.
What were you thinking?
I know. I ask myself that a lot, but no, I love it. I'm fairly new to the sport. Pretty new to indoor. We don't have any indoor archery per se here. We live in Northwest Arkansas, which we have to drive about 2 hours anyway. you look at it to shoot some tournaments. And I'm finding that I really enjoy the indoor game. I'm pretty OCD about things. People have told me I'm actually CBO because OCD doesn't quite come in the same, in the right order.
Right.
So, yes. So I think the indoor game probably satisfies my OCD just a little bit.
Yeah.
So shot Vegas last year was my very first indoor shoot ever.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Way to throw her in.
Yeah, no kidding.
I thought, heck, might as well. Let's go to Vegas. Never been to Vegas before, and that was a lot of fun. Looking forward to this year. I shot in Illinois with Julie, and had a lot of fun there. Had interesting things happen to me. I wear a Fitbit when I do everything, and tracked my heart rate during the competition. And gotta say, it was pretty interesting. Resting heart rate is 68, and when I shot in Illinois, I got up to 119 beats per minute. So,
wow. Now,
yeah,
was that consistent through the whole day? Is that what you're saying?
Just when she was shooting,
or just when you got up?
Yeah.
When I was shooting.
Yeah, like during the tournament.
Probably every couple of minutes, because you have a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
You may have had almost a resting heart rate, and then you had to go back up on the line. So
yeah, she showed it to me.
Up and down, up and down.
And it's kind of normal, and then all of a sudden it's like all these lines, all up and down, and then it's gone again.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
pretty exciting.
It's fascinating though that you're the first person I've heard that's done that.
Oh, I track mine.
When you're like during the shot, or do you really?
Well, I mean, I don't know that you can do it right when you shoot, but it has a timeline of what your heart rate looks like, and then you can pinpoint the high points and see exactly what time of day it was. So you can kind of do it that way and see how high you went, because there's a peak zone, like I don't know what it's called, the fat burning zone or something like that. And I stay up in there during league nights and
really,
I'm burning all kinds of fat on the line.
Yeah. There's a plus to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not burning any fat, so I must be like flatlined out there on the line or something. Cause
like Barb last week.
Yeah.
She falls asleep on the line, you flatline.
There's no evidence in my clothes fitting any, better. So I don't know. Yeah, I need more indoor maybe.
Do you want to share with us your patented Jennifer Brooks heart rate monitoring technique to how you're practicing shooting through a high heart rate?
Well, I had this idea of how I could replicate that feeling, without anyone really. I mean, Nathan and I shoot together a lot, obviously. We actually have an indoor range there at our house, so it's convenient. Most of the time we get our kids in bed and shoot late into the night because we, have things going on, obviously, during the day, as everyone does with their kids. So one day I was off work and I decided that, okay, I'm going to try to, get my heart rate up and then shoot. So we have a treadmill in our indoor range in our building. So I get on the treadmill, I crank the incline up,
right,
and I go about a half a mile, and I'm checking my heart rate, and I'm like, okay, that looks good. So I jump off the treadmill and I run over to the line, put my quiver on, and I shoot around. And I was able to actually keep my heart rate up around 100, just mentally, putting myself under a lot of pressure with every arrow. And Nathan has encouraged me to do that mentally. He's like, you really need to just really try to put yourself, on that line with all those shooters and in that tournament situation. And it's really hard, but I was kind of surprised, and I've I've practiced not so much with the treadmill idea, but the last few days I've been practicing and really trying to monitor that heart rate and get that feeling, get that blood pumping, that heart pumping, and try to put myself mentally in that atmosphere. And I'm trying to learn to embrace that feeling. I've been told you have to embrace that feeling instead of telling yourself what's the matter with you. It's the same bow, it's the same arrows, it's the same distance, the same target. Just shoot the arrow, Jennifer. Come on. But it is difficult, when you don't have any local
facility
tournaments that you can go to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now 3D is a different story. Here we have 3D competitions locally that we can go and do, but
so do you keep track of your practice under those conditions, and have you been able to make improvements with the elevated heart rate or
yes, we have a marker board in our range and on the wall, and so that's where I keep score a lot of times. As I'm walking back, to the line from pulling my arrows, I'll write down my score, and I've been jotting down my heart rate, every 2 to 3 ends when I'm shooting like a Vegas round, and just trying to monitor that, I guess, more specifically that way, taking those notes and everything. And I have improved. I shoot on average 295, 296, somewhere in there. With my X count has actually come up since I've been doing this mental thing. I shot 17. I shot 295 with 17 last night. So
awesome.
That's, it's gotten more consistent, I guess. And, obviously I'm not actually in competition, but I do feel like that this weekend I'll be a little more prepared for that tournament feel, than I have been, just because I've been practicing a little bit differently.
Right. And that's a smart thing to do, to try to recreate that feel. I guess we're a little luckier around here because, yes and no, because we have a lot of leagues and indoor tournaments and stuff, but it's a lot of times it's people that you're friends with and you can cut up with, and so it's a little more relaxed atmosphere. So at some point, it would be good to try to create a little bit more of a tension in a tournament type atmosphere.
Have you
just run into the range, just blow into the door, actually run around,
the building, lap the building a few times, and then
jumping jacks, couple of push-ups,
in between.
There you go.
So let me ask you this: when your heart rate is higher, is that affecting your sight picture? I've always found that it affects mine. Like I can almost physically see my heartbeat in the pin.
I can.
Or
my sight, it'll bounce up and down with my heartbeat.
Are
sometimes, not always.
Is that the effect, or
do you see that?
I think the effect that I notice is my shot takes a little bit longer. It's like I'm aiming harder maybe than just going through my shot sequence, and I don't really notice, which I shoot a dot, for indoor, so I don't know if maybe that's why, but I don't notice a lot of change in my sight picture, honestly, me personally.
I wonder if you could just drink like a Red Bull or something and get the same.
Possible.
I mean, because I try to stay off of any sort of caffeine, which I think kind of messes with me a little bit too because I am a caffeine
Because
person.
you're used to it.
Yeah, and then
Mhm.
when the day of I try to stay off caffeine, maybe it's doing a terrible effect on my shooting. I don't know.
That could
Right.
be.
Maybe I should just be doing the exercise version and not the caffeine version.
I there was one other thing too that a few weeks ago, George, you know how do you follow George Riles at all? Some like his archery center or whatever in
Yeah.
Atlanta, or
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
he had some video on with the students, and he had AC/DC blaring in
Mhm.
the background, and I wonder if that's part of the reason he does that too, is to create
Yeah.
tension or anxiety.
Probably.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, because it was
Probably.
you could hear it pretty loud and clear on the video. So and he was away from the shooting line, so they were
Mm-hmm.
hearing it pretty loud.
Yeah. Somebody
Uh-huh.
else said that too.
I think Jim.
Maybe it was Griff. I don't know. But I thought someone had either I overheard in a conversation or it was a podcast. I don't know about that though. That they said in order to create disturbances and distractions and up the tension a little bit, crank the music up really loud
Especially
and make
probably
yourself
your
shoot through it.
least favorite kind of music. Then you're ticked and getting your
Hey,
heart rate.
Right.
I got an idea.
So I'll
Get
have to
about
listen to Screamo
4
or whatever it
dogs
is.
and 4 cats.
and have them running in and out
And
of
throw
your
a bunch of
sight picture.
toys in the room
That's
between
what-
you and the target, and see how that works.
Well, there has been a little cap gun therapy.
Oh.
Actually, yeah, at our house.
Oh, okay.
Is it a cap gun or is it one of those little boink boink guns that they have down at Cabela's?
Oh, it's the cap gun.
Okay.
It's the cap gun. It's disappeared though.
Oh,
Oh,
that's too bad.
recently.
yeah.
Yeah.
Funny how that happens.
It's funny. funny thing.
How old are your kids?
Well, I have a bonus daughter who is 14,
Okay.
and then my son is 13,
Okay.
and the youngest bonus daughter is 10.
Okay.
Wow.
They're a little too old for those those little toddler
So
toys
who
that are
is
super
cap
loud.
gunning you? Who's
Oh, well, no one's actually done it to me.
okay.
I've been the spectator.
Okay.
It's really
Ah.
funny. Yeah, it's really funny.
Oh.
But yeah, I wasn't responsible for the disappearance,
Okay.
Oh,
the
okay.
cap gun,
Mhm.
or the cats. Yeah.
That's
But
a pretty
you
good
may
idea.
or may not be. You may or may not know where they are.
Possibly.
Possibly.
That's great. So how
They're
did
probably in the stove where nobody will
Yeah.
find them except for you.
you, right? Because nobody cooks.
Probably. Yeah, or the dishwasher.
Or the
Right,
dishwasher.
the washing machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
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 So how did you get started in archery? Take us back to the beginning.
Well, several years ago, when I was married to my ex-husband, I had a bow and we just went out in the backyard and shot and basically just kind of for fun. And then time rocks on, and I meet Nathan, and he bought me a bow for Christmas. And I had shot 22 competitions and figured out that I'm left eye dominant, which my dad, I'm right-handed. So my dad raised me and taught me how to shoot, and of course right-handed because I'm right-handed. And during the 22 competition thing, when I got rolling on that, discovered, like I said, that I'm left eye dominant. So Nathan told me that, well, we're going to order you a left-handed bow because you're left eye dominant. Okay, so I'm thinking, all right, and I'm kind of a weakling anyway. So I get this bow in, and I'm so excited, So get it out of the box. He turns the poundage down, just as wide as it'll go, and I can't pull it back. So kind of embarrassing. So I did push-ups, and I just started pulling that bow, but pulling that string back as far as I could until I could finally get it all the way back. And so started shooting when he got me the bow. I did some 3D competitions locally and loved it. So that was about 3 years ago, I guess. And been going strong ever since.
Awesome.
It's very good. What about Women's Hunter? Tell us about your experience in that class in the ASAs.
Well, Women's Hunter was really fun. I made a lot of friends. Several girls from Arkansas actually shot with me in that class, and we would shoot locally together and then actually shoot at the ASAs together. And let's see, there's Holly Murray, Johnny Cook, Stacy Mitchum, and Angie Whidden. I don't know if any of you know those girls, but we were sort of now Angie's from Mississippi, but the rest are from Arkansas, and pretty tight group, and actually ended up in the place for Shooter of the Year. So we were peer grouped at the Classic that year, the 5 of us, and that was really pretty cool. It took away a lot of pressure, but it also put a lot of pressure on. Holly Murray and I went into it tied straight across the board, and actually got to target on the first day, target 6 or 7, and I dry fired my bow.
Oh,
First
no.
time ever. Yeah, nice. But anyway, pulled it together. Holly and I were it was, neck and neck through the whole thing till the last target. And anyway, I ended up winning, but it was awesome.
Wow.
I mean, it was so, I think really, you get into the sport, and as I've said before, I'm new to it, but you develop those relationships, and it's so much more than just pulling that bow back and shooting at an animal, or a paper target. You develop those relationships, and honestly, I was so excited for any one of us to have won that. It was great. And I think those other girls, I think everybody kind of felt the same. There was no animosity or anything, like that, and no cutthroat competition, but it just really, it was awesome. It was a really neat experience.
And that happened, that
Love
was in
that.
your first year in Hunter? So
Yes.
you shot out a Hunter in that first year. That's
Yes.
really cool, and that's a fun bunch too. I've walked the range with Hunter class before, and I don't know, they're just a little more laid back sometimes.
Yeah,
say
they're a
Right.
lot more laid back.
They're a lot more laid back. They're just having fun.
Yeah.
Right. And I debated on going to known 40. I don't judge really well, and so I definitely need to shoot a known class, and went back and forth between 40 and 45. And last year, obviously, we shot PSE bows, and they offered a really good contingency. And so that's kind of what made the decision,
Right.
and for 45.
Mhm.
And I love that class. It's great. And of course this year we're with Elite, and super excited about that. I really, really am loving the Elite bow that I'm shooting, and I'm excited to get that out there. And
Which one are you shooting?
I am actually shooting the Spirit.
Okay.
That's
what
I
Angie-
have.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Our friend Angie Campbell. She's from Arkansas. No,
Yeah,
she lives
Angie
in
Henry.
Tennessee now.
Yeah. Do you know Angie Skip
Okay.
and Angie? Henry?
No.
Yeah, she shoots the
No.
Spirit also.
Well, they're in the same
Okay.
state, my gosh, or close to
Yeah,
it.
I
you're
So
all
know.
down south down there. You should know each other.
Why don't we know each other? I
Right.
don't know. I don't know. I'll have to look for her. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I'm shooting the Spirit, and they came out with the new one of the new bows that they released was the Impression, and
right,
I we're really not sure if they're gonna want me to try to shoot that bow. We're kind of waiting on word
right.
for that, but I do have an E35. I've shot it a little bit, but the Spirit just it fits me really well. I'm a 25. I'm a
Short draw length.
shorty,
Mm.
short draw length. But I shot the Phenom last year, which a little bit longer bow, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
than the Spirit, and really I feel like I struggled a little bit, especially out to that longer yardage, with that bow. Me personally, with the Spirit, I feel more at home, I guess. And it's hard sometimes when you're new to the sport to say, okay, this feels this way or this feels that way. It's such a learning experience to try new things
Right.
and releases and sights, and it's everything. I tell everyone that everything has to do with everything. I mean, you can make a minor change, and it's just phenomenal what happens.
Right.
Well, and
Good or
have you
bad.
has Nathan ever done this? Like he hands you like a new release, and you put one shot through it. What do you think of that? You like that? That's what my husband does to me. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I shot one shot with it. I have no idea.
Yeah, how does that feel? How does that? Yeah, he's so good. Bless his heart. I told him when we began this journey of Jennifer shooting a bow, that obviously he knew me pretty well then, but we've bonded in a different way now that he's my coach. Um, but I told him in the beginning. I said, okay, this is going to be good. This is going to be bad, but I'm a perfectionist, and I want to do everything perfect, and I want to do everything perfect the first time. And
Mm.
he's like looking at me like, going, yeah, well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Well, and that's so you kind of brought up the relationship, and of course you've got a pretty recognizable pro archer as your coach now, but you also have a personal relationship there. So kind of dive into that a little deeper about the challenge there that it created. I, I mean, I guess my husband's sort of coached me. I think sometimes he'd rather not. But
Well, um, Nathan probably feels that way too. He is the most patient, most kind person I've ever known. I mean, he's wonderful, and I am used to him standing about 5 inches away, staring at me, and I'm thinking, in my mind, a lot of times I'll think, okay, what does he recognize that I'm doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And he'll sit there, oh, nothing, no, tell me. But it really, Nathan and I sort of have we do have, it's a very peaceful relationship, and he's very, like I said, he's just very kind, very respectful. He, of course, you have to be coachable, and I try to be coachable. I try to ask questions, and I think sometimes that might get on his nerves a little bit. Because we've had conversations, and I'm asking, well, what about this? What about that? What about this? Just load your arrow and shoot. I get that answer sometimes.
Yeah.
But no, it's neat. It bonds us together even further than, just our everyday relationship. It's if you're frustrated, you can talk to each other about that, and I love it when he, tells me, "Oh, babe, this is working so well. I love this. I love how this feels. I love it." And now I'm starting to actually understand some of those things.
Mhm.
The more I get into this, and I love that. I love being able to speak his language a little bit more.
Right.
Right.
Um,
Instead of just smile and nod, you actually,
Right.
yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. But
Exactly.
so do you think we as women, I mean, obviously your husband's an elite archer. Do you think we as women tend to, they say women pick up on shooting faster because the information doesn't pass through as many filters. But
Mhm.
on the other hand, do you think we overthink stuff? Like you said, you think you drive him crazy asking questions all the time, whereas maybe a man wouldn't overthink it as much, or do you think it's the same regardless?
Well, I think, regardless male or female, I think that you have, your personality traits enter into that a lot because I know there are people who are more technical shooters, than just the, okay, well, this works, so I'm going to shoot this, and I'm not going to think about the technical, nitpicky aspects of every, minute little thing. Um, so I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, I don't know that it's really gender specific. Maybe. I mean, maybe there's some things with women that we might, you know,
Yeah.
pick up on or do a little differently or
Mhm.
dig in, a little
Mhm.
bit deeper. Um, just because we are a little different, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think it's more personality probably specific, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Because I know, like Aunt Alicia, she's laid back and happy go lucky, and I would think that she's more of like, okay, my bow's set up, don't touch it.
Mm.
It's doing what I want it to do. I'm just going to go shoot.
Mhm.
And then I could see
Mhm.
where I have a little bit more of a, I think more of a,
Yeah, you and I are probably a little more A-type people. Like
yeah,
we're
Barb and I, and so we're like, but why does it do
Mhm.
this? Well, why is it not doing that? Well, what did I do? Well,
Mhm.
now why did I do that? Well, how do I stop doing that?
I've had that
Right.
same I've had that same thing happen where I'd start asking a bunch of questions. Jim was like, "Just shoot it, shut up
Yeah.
and shoot." It's usually what he tells me.
I
Yeah.
think that's the man side of that though. And I think that you guys having all the questions is more of what we do in life. Like, why is my son sick, and what can I do to make him better? That
Mhm.
that bow became your
Yeah.
child.
Sorta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And so you want to know why it's not performing like everybody else is at the same. I mean, why is he not
Right.
getting the grades I want him to get? I mean, so
Right.
there's that too, I
Uh-huh.
think, with
That's a
women.
good point.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
my beau is a child of mine, and if anyone was to come up and mess with it, I'd be doing the smackdown. So, I mean, there's that too. Oh, so there's the difference. To lay it out.
True.
Men
True.
just go to work and come home and want food.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how you make them happy.
Right.
So
Sometimes.
Well, speaking of that bow being our baby, how about your babies and your bonus babies? Do any of them shoot?
They do. Maylee, the oldest, 14-year-old, she did really well last year in her division at the ASAs. She podiumed a couple of times. She only shot 3, I believe, and so she did really well. My son actually, he has competed in a few ASAs and locally. He's pretty proud of him. He holds a couple of records for his age group
Hmm.
here in Arkansas
Awesome.
on a couple of the ranges, so pretty proud of that. And then Addie, the youngest, she uh, shoots occasionally if we're out in the yard and everyone else is shooting. She shoots. So um, they all enjoy it. It's something that, Nathan has always with his girls, and then even now, with Bryson, we tell the kids, hey, if this is something that you enjoy and you want to do, great. We'll help you as much as we can, but we don't expect you to love this like we love this.
Right.
Love what you want to love, and my son plays in the band. He plays saxophone at his
Awesome.
school, and then Maylee plays basketball, and Addie as well. And they love those things, and we just kind of stand back if they want to go out and shoot. Everything's there, and it's a lot of fun. I love it. Last night, my son and I actually shot together for a little while, and I love that. We cut up, have a good time, and if he hits that X, man, everybody knows about it. And if I don't, he rubs it in.
Yeah.
Of course.
But it's a lot of fun, when 3D season rolls around. Those are weekends that we get to spend together, away from the TV and
Right.
Right.
somewhat away from cell phones. I don't know if you ever escaped that, but we encourage them if that's what they want to do, great. And just kind of stand back and see if they take that initiative, to practice.
Right.
And
That's important
just
to not push the kids. I mean, just, how you left the door open for them. We don't expect you said, to love it like we love it, but it's always here if you decide to do that. And I think that's a good thing because, I see a lot of kids and parents, and not in archery specifically, but, other activities where the parents are really pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And it burns the kid out, and the kid doesn't really want to do it. And, so in my opinion, that's the good way to go with it, is open that door, but don't push them through it. Let them step through if they want to.
Well, and I have another question too. We kind of touched on this last week. We were talking a little bit about Levi and Samantha Morgan making the change, and she was kind of talking a little bit about, they have a new child and finding the time to practice and that sort of thing. And it sounds like you've got a full house there, and I'm sure kids have activities, and it sounds like you have a job. So how do you? Are you fitting as much practice in as you'd like, or do you just try to practice around all the schedule, or how do you manage that?
Well, as a hygienist, I don't. Fortunately, I'm very blessed. I don't work every day of the week.
Okay.
So sometimes I will shoot when the kids are in school. Sometimes, most of the time, after the kids get to bed, our shop is just like right out the back door of our house. So we're basically, they're at the house. So I usually shoot, most of my practice time is around 10 o'clock at night. I'll start, and some nights, one night not too long ago, I had some issues I was trying to shoot through. Sometimes it's just better to put your bow down, start again the next day, and I was bound and determined, pretty hard-headed, to get some things worked out. And I think I shot until about 1:30 or 2 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Just trying to, I thought, I can't go in there and go to sleep. I'm not going to go to sleep. I'm going to lay there and I'm going to think about, what I should do, how I can fix this. And anyway, so most of the time for us, it's, or for me personally, it's at night. And, as a mom, I feel like my mind is clear at that time and more focused because I know things are taken care of. You know, I'm not missing out on any time with the kids. And, you know, obviously we co-parent with others. And so we don't have our kids all the time.
Right.
And it's really important to, you know, spend time with them when they're with us. And so shooting at night like that is the time when I feel like my mind is clear and I don't have all these other things, you know, coming in my head like, oh, well, you know, I've got to be here at this time. I've got to be there. I've got to make sure, you know, this is done. So that's what works best for me.
And do you typically make it a point to practice every single day, or do you?
No. I need to practice every single day. No, I unfortunately, it usually, you know, that just doesn't work out.
Right.
But I practice quite a bit. I've shot more this year than I have in previous years. Last year we remodeled and added on to a house. So every spare second we had, you know, we were working on that. And obviously, you know, Nathan's practice time comes before mine, you know, and so there were some times when, you know, I would paint or whatever, and, you know, he might go shoot or, you know. So this year I've had more time to devote to shooting. But as far as every day, no, not able to do that. I would say 3 to 4 nights a week, 3 nights a week, something like that. Yeah.
That's better than
get out
nothing.
there.
You know, and it's, you know, like it's realistic. Like you said, you have other things going on in your life, and I think those of us who work and have children, that's just a fact of life. You just have to try to juggle that schedule as much as you can and squeeze it in wherever you can.
Well, and you know, our kids, they won't be, you know, they're going to be going to college. They're going to be, you know, it's just a short window of time that we're going to have this, you know, this time with them. So
it really becomes evident around 13 and 14 years old. You're like,
reality sets
what?
in.
They were just babies. Yeah.
And they're going to start driving. I mean, how did my parents ever let me drive?
I think the same thing. I thought the same thing today, actually. I was like, oh my God, this kid's going to be on the road.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm horrible with road rage.
So
horrible.
Yeah,
good example.
I've got a permit driver myself here that I'm working with, and she's probably actually ready to go get her license, and I'm probably holding her back. I'm telling her, like, let's not get it in the middle of winter, okay?
Yeah.
Let's wait till winter's over with before we get to the license.
I think that's why it ran through my head today. My son would be on the road. I'm like, oh, he's going to flip. He's going to be in a ditch somewhere. And I mean, he's only been behind the wheel like 10 times maybe. Honestly, but the whole time I'm like,
I think there's a couple of pivotal times with your kids that's terrifying. And one of them's when they get their license, because you just don't trust them. Because, you know, I mean, by definition, most teenagers are kind of idiots. So,
yes. The whole frontal lobe.
Like,
it's not
it's
developed.
Well, we were idiots at one time.
Yeah, we were.
I feel like I was way more advanced at 14, 15 than I'm seeing what's going on, because I'm at the high school right now.
I ask myself, was I this much of an idiot at this age? I don't remember me being an idiot like this.
It's because that frontal lobe closes up and it completely shuts off any memory from how stupid you were.
I was gonna say, I think your parents probably didn't say that though. They were probably equal. It is. I think it's one of the most terrifying times with your kids when you cut them loose with a 2,000-pound piece of metal going down the road.
Sure.
it's like, oh my Lord.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, and it's
It-
not just them; it's
Sure.
all of the other idiots out
It's,
there with them.
right.
And it's,
Well, yeah,
Right.
there's
it's
a,
a
yeah.
horrible time as a parent.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a 25-year-old son. I still make him, like this weekend we
Mhm.
had these ice storms, and I was like, you text me when you get here. You text.
Yes.
He didn't even live here anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm still. It'll never end.
No, I'm the same way
Oh, no.
with our daughter. She's 24, and I'm sure
Mhm.
she rolls her eyes. And because I told her, I texted her and I said, okay, we've got an ice storm coming in. What's your plan?
I did
You know,
this.
do you
I
have
did
food?
the same
Do you
thing.
have, you know, how are you going to keep warm if the power goes out? Well, she works at the hospital where she lives, and she said, I'm going to stay at the hospital and I'm going to be on call, in quotes, all weekend. So it's fine, Mom, you know.
Well, and
But it doesn't matter how old they get. You
Weird.
still worry about them.
we're
No.
so explaining why we are we're harder on ourselves in archery, because the whole time we're shooting, we're thinking about our kids driving on the road
Sure.
or getting
Sure.
older.
Um,
Being idiots.
I think it's maybe like I think women, maybe we worry more.
Mhm,
I think like a lot of
Mhm.
times I feel like Jim, and I don't know if you see this with Nathan, like does he just able to get relaxed and not worry about stuff, and the whole time
Mhm.
my brain's in a constant
You know,
circle
we
of
have made them that way, right? Because like
Because we do
make
it all.
yes, we make sure the kids
We do
are
all the
fed. We
thinking
put them
and-
to
we
bed.
do the
we,
worrying and
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't know.
We create this
Monster.
man, this monster of a man,
This
like doesn't care.
Man child.
Oh man, we have a lot of
man
men
child.
listeners, and they're probably like, "Oh,
Oh
this
my
little
God, they-
man bashing party
Yeah.
you're having."
It's all in good fun,
That's
guys.
what we live. That's what we live to do. You
R-
know,
right.
we like to take care of people.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
We like that.
Big old man babies.
And animals. I mean, you know, it's not complicated enough with just kids, and then you throw all the.
It's because we were designed to take care of things.
I think so. Well,
Right.
like on my way up here tonight, I text Vince and said, "Will you please feed the animals? Because if I don't
No,
do
I
that, they don't
know.
get fed till I get home. And here it might be 10 o'clock tonight before I
and,
get home,
and
and
admit
they're
it.
starving all day."
Admit it. Even though you texted him, you think in the back of your mind, did he
Did he
actually
do
feed the
it? Uh-huh.
animals? Am I getting?
Did he really do it?
Right.
Or is he
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess I'll find out when they're.
At some point, we
Thank-
fit in archery.
Thank goodness you don't have little kids. Did he really feed the
Yeah,
kids?
exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you're going to be at the Kansas City Shootout this weekend. Is that correct?
Yes.
All
Yes. I will
right.
be in Kansas City.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Looking
you guys
forward
will
to
get
that.
meet her in person. She's lovely.
uh,
You will love her.
Actually, I think if this one airs next week, are we going to do?
Oh, you want to do into the future thing? Okay, so last week you were at the you were at
last
the
week, yes.
last
We're
week.
time
week,
travel.
We're doing some time
Yes,
travel
yes.
today.
Barb
Had a
loves
great
that part.
time.
So how did you shoot?
great, great.
Go ahead and tell us
Good.
your score. You got a 360 on day one.
Oh,
Awesome.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. We like that little time travel thing that we
Yeah.
do.
Speaking of time travel,
Yeah.
I'm just the Segway queen tonight, I guess.
Yes.
What does the future hold for Jennifer? What are your plans for the future, archery wise?
Well,
Oh, I thought she was pregnant. Maybe. Are you pregnant?
oh no.
Why'd she get quiet?
I don't know.
How did they
No.
know?
We always try.
Factory is
We always try to get
factory is
dirt.
closed. Well, obviously near future plans. I will be in Vegas.
Mm.
Vegas, then Foley. We have those, back to back, and then I will be shooting all the ASAs, and I want to continue indoor. I am hopeful that the indoor practice that I have invested will help with my 3D game a little bit, and I think it will.
Mhm.
Shot process and just muscle memory and things. I think that will help. But I'm just going to shoot. I'm going to do the best I can. Just enjoy it, have fun, and compete. I love the competition. I love the friendly competition.
Mhm.
Love the relationships that I've been able to form with this sport. You know, archery, you truly do have your archery family. And looking forward to that part of it too, to see everyone that I've developed that relationship with, and then meeting new people as well, you know, and starting new relationships.
Right.
So,
and do you
gonna
think?
shoot.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, just gonna shoot, just gonna have fun and enjoy it.
You know, you touched on the relationships and the competition, and I had a gentleman not long ago make a comment about that, how it seems like the guys, like some of the guys, they're your friend or they're okay with you as long as they're beating you, but as soon as you beat them, then it's a problem. They don't want to talk to you anymore or whatever. And he was astounded with the fact that all of us ladies can be good friends, and we walk out onto the line or out onto the 3D course, and we're out there to compete, but yet we're so supportive of each other at the same time. And then at the end of the day, we walk away and we're still friends.
But you know, one thing, and I think, I don't know if maybe women are different. I mean, at least for me personally, I've always viewed archery as more of a competition with myself.
Right.
You know, and
Exactly.
I think a lot of women,
It
you know,
should be. That's how it should
like
be.
if I didn't win, but I scored higher than I did the last time, or I maintained, or I had a little improvement, I always view that as a win.
Yeah.
So like even if
Right.
I went out and shot a score and it wasn't the winning score, but it was better than what I've been doing, I'm
Right.
like super stoked. I'm like so excited,
Right.
as if I'd won. You know.
Right.
But and I think maybe that's a difference with maybe men and women, because that's what he was saying, and
I think
he can't understand how the women can go out
I
there
think
and
you
do
get too
that.
negative in your head if you do it otherwise. For me, anyway, that it would if I worried too much about what, because
You can't worry about what other people are doing.
can't.
It'll
It's
drive
the
you
kiss
crazy.
of death.
Right.
It's the kiss of death. It really
Right.
is. You got to worry about yourself.
Right.
And,
But the fact that we can remain
Right.
friends and we're so supportive and we cheer each other on, because I guess there was a guy that he was chummy with or cordial with or whatever, but as soon as he started shooting better scores than this guy won't even acknowledge him now.
that's interesting.
So it was an interesting little conversation that I had with him about that.
Well, you know, again,
Well, and testosterone probably has.
yeah, that
right.
could be true.
I think there is something
ego.
in men that want to play king of the hill all the time. And so if they're on top, they love everybody below, but as soon as they fall to the low, then they can't stand that guy that's on the top. So there's always that.
Yeah.
Always.
but you know,
no matter
I mean,
what they're doing.
I don't know if all guys are like that, but I mean, even, you know, a lot of the guys and coaches, I'm sure, I mean, you can't do anything about that other shooter.
Right.
They're going to shoot what they're going to
Right.
shoot. And the
Right.
only thing you can do is worry about yourself.
That's right.
And focus. So,
And it is okay for people out there. You can be friends and still, you know, compete.
Yes.
You know, because ultimately, you know, you are competing against yourself.
you really
and,
are.
And all you can do is
Exactly.
shoot the game that you bring with you that day. And if somebody happens to bring a better game, you know, more power
be
to
it.
them. That's right.
It's
That doesn't mean
often-
you can't like them at the end.
As often as we see each other, I mean, it would be an awful miserable life to have to hold hatred in your heart every time you see somebody just because they're shooting better than you.
Right. It's silly.
I mean, as
Exactly.
often
It's
as we
dumb.
see each other, you might as well just say, "This is my friend.
Mhm.
She shoots better than me." Right?
Right. Of course, if you ask my son, he
I
would
feel so
say
Yoda-like tonight.
it doesn't matter. All girls secretly hate each other. That's my
Really?
son's philosophy. Yes.
Well, he's a boy.
Yeah, I know.
I love that part of which the K-45 class. Love all the ladies. We have a smaller class, you know, so you really get to know everyone there. Most of us have each other's cell phone numbers, you know, and it's great. I've been on the pro ranges, you know, a few times, and Chris Hacker, Matthew shooter, he lives here in Arkansas, and he and Nathan were obviously friends, with him and his wife Amy, and the way that it is between like Nathan and Chris, I love that because it's exactly as you described. They shoot against themselves, and there's a maturity level there that just opens up a whole different realm of those relationships, and I love it that the ladies that I shoot with, Christy Collin, I have picked her brain. I may absolutely get on her nerves. I don't think so, but
That's not what she says. No.
picked her brain. Julie Griggs, I probably get on her nerves sometimes.
Always,
But
yeah, always.
I love the way that we can all interact, and I think that mentality is there specifically. I mean, I speak from a shooter in that class, but I really feel like that is the overall attitude. Everyone is shooting against themselves, even though we are competing against each other. But that those friendships and it's wonderful to be able to discuss. Well, hey, what do you think about that shot? How did that shot look? And really be able to be honest with people and learn. I think there's a maturity level there that is wonderful, and it can make you better.
Yeah. And
if you're open to that.
And speaking of the maturity level, I think that transcends age differences because I feel like I learn from you or Christy just as much as I learn from like Maddie Rakowski. Here she is,
right.
18 years old, but she has that maturity, that shooter's maturity. That it's nice to be able to go out there and learn something and experience something with other ladies that from all different ages. That's something that I'm not sure people realize too, that it's nice to be able to go out there and have such a variety.
Yeah,
it really is.
We when we shot the classic, I shot with a few ladies, and Jillian was in my group, and
that girl can shoot.
I decided that, oh man, she's awesome.
Yeah.
I decided that we figured out, I didn't just decide this, but we figured out that I could be they could all be my children. Old enough for them to be my kids. And they're in college. They're going to college. I'm thinking, oh wow.
Did it make you feel old?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. And then they told me, well, you don't act like you're old enough to be our moms. And I'm thinking, well, is that a good thing? Or is that bad? I don't know.
And then you said, wash your hands after you go to the bathroom.
Right.
Wipe your nose.
Here's some hand sanitizer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have a question. Man, I haven't asked this in a long time.
No, you haven't.
I always ask, what do you carry? Okay, first of all, do you carry a quiver, like a hip quiver?
Do you?
Yes, I wear a hip quiver.
Did I say do you like 5 times?
Do you?
No.
Can I?
By the way, that was not my voice. That was Julie's. So,
Jennifer knows the reference too.
Do you, okay, I just said it again.
Can I? Can I have your number?
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. In your hip quiver, do you carry anything in there that is like a good luck charm or something no one knows about? Love letter? I mean, we've had it all, but do you have anything in your quiver you want to talk about?
Well, actually, I have something new in my quiver this year that will be with me all the time.
A cap gun?
Cap gun, yep, look out.
So she wears that on her holster. It's holstered.
Yeah, I'm going to holster it on the opposite side. I had a quiver made for Nathan. He also wears a hip quiver. I had a quiver made by Rod Groom. I don't know if you have ever heard of him. He is a shooter over in Scotland, and he makes quivers. Well, some Rod and Johnny Cook had quivers made by him, and had no idea that I was trying to find someone to make one for Nathan. And so I got hooked up with him, and he designed. I sent him a picture of what I wanted. It has a cross on the side of it. It's a brown leather quiver and has this cross design on the side of it. And so Rod, the material that he cut out of the quiver for Nathan's quiver, he actually made a large cross that's the opposite material, the
That's
cutout
cool.
of Nathan.
Right.
Oh, neat.
He gave to me. And
Aw.
so I have that cross that I will have in my quiver this year.
That's
and
kind of like
from now
having the
on.
key to his heart.
That is so cool.
That is
That's
really
right.
cute.
Yeah,
That's so neat.
yeah. There you go. So
yeah, that's cool.
that's I don't know if maybe good luck charm. We'll see.
There you
See how
go.
the year goes.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm sure it'll be great.
I like that. Do you want to ask your question,
Okay,
Julie?
before we wrap this up for good for the night, I have a question that I would like to ask.
Okay.
What has been the funniest or most embarrassing moment that you have experienced since picking up a
Oh,
bow?
absolutely. Oh, easy.
She's
Dry
already got it.
firing my bow. Dry firing my bow when I'm, peer grouped for Shooter of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about the women's hunter range, you know that there are 100 people,
Yeah.
100 shooters at
And you-
least.
200 eyeballs on you.
Yeah. So,
Uh-huh.
here I am, and kabam, I dry fire this bow, and everyone starts whispering.
Yeah.
Oh
Who
man.
did
Yeah.
that? What did that? What happened? What happened? Which, not in a negative way or
No.
anything, but
Yeah.
everyone's like, you can
Mm-hmm.
imagine. So, it's like everything got dead, calm, and quiet, and everyone's looking around, and they knew it came from our target.
Mm-hmm.
I'd point to the person next to me and, oh, it was her. What'd you do?
Yeah. So I step out, in the pathway there where I was about midway through too on the range, the row of targets. We were fixing to make the turn. And so I step out and I look at everyone and I say, "It was me. It was me. It was me." And everyone starts laughing, And so I always try to find a little comic relief.
Right.
Yeah.
But really, that was probably the most embarrassing. And that was honestly the first time I had ever dry fired my
Right.
bow.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just wanted to die.
Right.
It was like, yeah, here we are. And
Yeah.
it was me.
Well, did your
So,
bow
absolutely.
hold up okay through it? I mean, sometimes strings will derail and stuff like that. Did your bow hold up okay?
It did.
Oh, good.
Which I don't pull a lot of weight.
Okay.
I was shooting, I think, 42 pounds. I was pulling 42 pounds. So, everything was fine. I did not call breakdown before I shot my arrow right after, and I should have. So I shot the arrow. I shot an 8 right. I still see it in my mind. And so then I called breakdown, and I went to the bag and, regained my composure. I did have to move my sight just a little bit, but anyway, got everything straightened out, and it ended up fine. But
and you survived
yeah,
it, and it's a learning experience.
Absolutely, yeah. Not a mistake, a learning
There
experience.
you go.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, that's been so far. The night is young. I don't know, but yeah, so far that has been the most embarrassing thing that's happened. So.
Yeah, and it happens to
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
at one
sure.
point or
Yeah.
another. So something happens.
Yeah. You just hope it's not, in a shoot off or a
Right.
Right.
you know,
Right.
something like that.
I mean,
But those things
it could have
happen.
kind of been worse. I mean, I know like damaging your bow stinks, but you could have shot a 0 and then not been able to recover from that. At least you got
Exactly.
the 8 points, and it was just a dry fire.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So if you want to look at the positive side,
Right,
of
there
that,
you go.
Right.
The bright
Right.
side.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Lots of good came out of it
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, as
Yeah.
someone who is still relatively new to archery, do you have any advice that you would like to share with, any young girls or even adults that are just getting started or thinking about getting started in the archery?
Well, I have to say, I started shooting when I was 40. So, it's never too late to start. I mean, there are classes that you can get into to fit you as far as, if you want to judge, you want to use a rangefinder, not a long distance. I mean, there's something for everybody. And that's to the, the more mature people out there. But always, I think be coachable, but have faith in yourself, and don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to, don't limit yourself. I guess is what my biggest thing would be to anyone. Don't limit yourself. Keep an open mind, and don't ever give up. Shoot till 2 o'clock in the morning if you have to,
Right.
and push through,
Right.
some things, and just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to try.
Very good.
And
Good advice.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent advice.
Thank you very much for sharing that. Well,
So we'll see you, or we
Yeah.
saw you last weekend.
yes,
I'm excited
Right.
to meet you
I'm
last
looking
weekend.
forward
No,
to
you're-
see you last weekend. Right.
I'm glad I met you last weekend.
Yes.
yeah, it was so
Yes.
nice to
So,
meet you.
we'll get some pictures at the KC Pro Am. We'll all
Okay.
be there. I mean, I'm not gonna shoot it, but I did commit to help Toby with a little bit of stuff. So
Yep.
Okay.
We'll all be there. Can't wait.
we will all be there,
Okay.
and good luck to you, or congratulations,
Yeah.
Coming
whichever.
or
Yeah,
going,
there
coming
you
or
go.
going.
Good luck to you, and
You-
hey, great shooting.
okay,
All
thank
right.
you
Thank-
so much.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you.
All right,
right,
thanks,
bye-bye.
Jennifer.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye. That was cool.
And it's good to get the perspective of somebody who is fairly fresh into it. I mean,
Fairly
we've
fresh.
all been shooting for a while, and I think most of the
But married to somebody that's a pro and been in the sport for a long time.
a very notable pro, and
Mhm.
has had some great success. So
Mhm.
I wonder, maybe I should ask it. I wonder if that even would maybe increase your pressure on yourself.
I would
like,
think it would.
I would think so too. I could see where you'd
Mhm.
be like, oh, he's a pro, and
Yeah.
I should shoot better because I'm married to a, like
Yeah,
that,
you don't.
right.
like that
you wanna-
shooting DNA is going to absorb into.
right.
or
But
I
you don't
know.
want to get up on the line and make a fool out of him, thinking, well, why
Yeah.
didn't he teach her that? You know,
To
I mean,
like not dry fire.
well, yeah. I mean, that can happen to a pro. I mean, there's
Mhm.
nothing.
It does.
But I understand. I feel that kind of like pressure feeling that she would have in a situation only because he's so known, and she's fairly new, but she's in the sport and she's doing well.
Mhm.
So I would assume that would put pressure.
Yeah, I would think so too.
And then to have the sponsorships and everything else, you got to keep up with them.
Honestly, I like the question about the embarrassing things. I think it's because we've talked to several pros, and almost all of them had done something,
Mhm.
Mhm.
have had something.
Makes them human.
Well, nobody's immune to it, I guess,
No.
is kind of the point.
Right.
I mean, if you shoot enough arrows, you're going to do something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, arrows in trees, arrows through garage doors,
Through windows,
through
right?
windows.
Wrong targets,
And in
zipping a
what was it?
target.
Connie put one in her neighbor's closet.
Yes. Right.
That was pretty great.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So yeah, it happens. It happens, but I'm glad that she shared it because it shows that she's human and it communicates. I think really whether you're experienced or a new archer, you're human. You see these people at what you perceive to be maybe a better
Well,
more
right.
experience
Like
or better
sometimes we look
level
at
than you know,
Mhm.
for lack of a better explanation. Oh, I can never do that.
Mhm.
You know, and I know some people that do that, or they're very self-conscious about themselves because they're still learning. But for them to know that, yeah, these people are human, they make mistakes too. You know, I always share the story about the pros. I think the first time it sunk in that they're actually human was one of them was telling me he tapes his grip on his bow because he said, you get nervous, your hands sweat. And I'm thinking, dude, you've been in all these high pressure situations.
your hands don't
Your
sweat.
hands don't sweat, but they do. They get nervous and everything. So it's good to know that that's across all levels,
Mhm.
that human is human.
Yep.
I'm
matter
actually, I don't think I've never dry fired my bow, and I'm very surprised because I can't tell you how many times I've got up to a shooting
Same
stake
here.
and had no arrow.
Yes, I've done the same thing.
Millions of times.
And start to draw back, and
Yep.
about the time I notice
about
that people
halfway
are like,
drawn.
stop, you know. And
I
that's a
know.
good thing too at 3Ds is people, they're watching you, they've
Yeah,
got
they
your
do.
back,
Yeah.
and you know if they see you're about to do something like that, if they realize it, they're going to call it to your attention.
No, I've done plenty of other stupid things. I would just be so fearful that it would hurt my bow.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
yeah.
would be.
Yeah,
I know. Hurt your kid.
exactly.
I
Well,
know.
that's like if it's been raining or whatever, and at a 3D, and you going downhill or uphill or whatever, worried
Yeah.
about falling. And
Holding your bow
I'm
like
always
this.
making sure I'm holding that bow, so if I fall,
Break
I'm going
a
to get
hip.
hurt, but the bow isn't.
You might break a hip, but that thing hasn't broke a limb
That's
yet.
right.
I did that in Lee Summit when one time we were out there and it was really that range that was there for a while and
Yeah.
slipped and fell and I was like all muddy on one half, but my bow was like still up in the
Clean,
air.
clean. Mhm.
No, it didn't have a bit of mud on it, so
No.
Well, we'll get this out
2 weeks.
we're time
in 2
traveling
weeks,
on this one.
So yeah,
This is like Doctor
This is
Who.
almost we're leaving for Vegas.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting close.
Yeah, we got 3 weeks.
Something like that. So. All right. Well, Barb is being our timekeeper, and it looks like
Ding, ding,
we need to be wrapping
ding.
this up.
Round
so-
1 is over.
All right. So somebody take us out of here.
All right. You can find us on the Facebook page, Bo Divas Podcast. If you've got any questions you want us to answer or any questions that, or any ideas for shows that you may have, I was going to say give us a ringy dingy, but I don't
Give
want
us a
that.
ringy dingy. Just give us a message on Messenger. Let us know
Yes.
you're listening.
Send us a message.
If you have some ideas, shoot them over. Or
And we're always looking for giveaways. If you've got something, a product of a company that you work for or something like that, you want us to give away, promote your company, we'll do that as well.
if you want to send us an extra can of poopery, because it seems like we need it a lot.
Right?
There's the bathroom reference.
Oh, we almost
had to squeeze one
Every
in.
episode.
No, she got it earlier. Wash your hands.
Oh, yeah,
that's
I
right.
did.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Doing the mom thing.
I know. I
so.
wanted to go ting right when you said it, just to chime in on our bathroom
and
reference.
keep an eye out for Jennifer at the
Shootout.
shootout
Casey
and,
Shootout?
and
It'll be
in
over.
Vegas.
Oh,
It'll be over.
Vegas.
Okay, Vegas and
Mm-hmm.
Foley, and she'll be on the K45 range. And
Uh-huh.
look, she's really attractive. So
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
not hard
she's
to
a doll.
she is. So
Yep. Her personality is every bit as sweet and cute as the way she looks.
miss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's
All right.
probably
All
why
right.
he loves her.
Probably.
All right. We'll see you next time.
all right,
right.
that's a wrap. Thanks
All right.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye. issues with this every time. Somebody else is going to be in charge of this the next time.